Bitcoin has had a very positive jump over the past 24 hours. My head's a little bit in the way, so if I scroll down, we can see less than 24 hours ago, we were at $62,000. We've had a nice little jump up, actually. I needed to film this now in case this turns red again, but we can see we've jumped up well over $2,000 in a very short space of time. Now, the reason behind that is we actually had a very favorable CPI print. Everyone was expecting inflation to continue running rampant, continue increasing, but it actually fell beneath expectations. Pretty nice, pretty nice. What we can see is if we look at the CPI, which is the Consumer Price Index chart, we can see here on a year-on-year basis. If we just look to CPI versus Bitcoin, we can see as inflation is running incredibly hot, rising rapidly, Bitcoin's usually not doing so well. And on the contrary, when this is usually falling to the downside, it again gives more favorable macroeconomic conditions. And the reason is because if we look at rising inflation rates, the Fed usually will raise interest rates, their federal funds target range, to try and discourage spending, to try and increase monetary sensibility, halfway between monetary and fiscal, I guess there. But we can see, after everyone was expecting this to actually go to the upside, the probability of the target rate staying the same had actually decreased to only 58%. But instantly, it rose to about 84%. If we look at Polymarket again, we could see that the chances of a 25 basis point increase had increased to above 35%, and in an instant drops to around 7%. And that's because, again, we saw that CPI came in massively under expectations. So why was this? Are we now entering a new bull market for the economy? We're going to see GDP rising massively. Well, the way that I see it is this wasn't a massive surprise. If we look at Truflation, which again, I'm not the first analyst to cover this, and you may have heard of this before, but this isn't looking at how the US Federal Reserve are kind of measuring inflation. This is, as per the name, potentially more true representation of goods and services and their increase or decrease in inflationary rate. And we can see this actually usually leads the official US inflationary numbers by about 45 days. And if we just go on to Truflation here, what we can see, if I just go to the max time frame here and I'll zoom in a little bit, what we can see is this has actually been setting some pretty favorable signals with declining peaks and lowering bottoms, lower highs and lower lows. Wasn't quite showing it fully on the chart there, but hopefully you get the idea. You can go to Truflation, sign up free, and get this data. So this is actually showing that the year-on-year over change on Truflation is only 1.93%. Quite a lot lower than the 3.5% year-on-year basis that the US Federal Reserve was showing. Now, is this a promising indication, the catalyst that's going to kick off the next Bitcoin bull market? Well, if we just go over here, the S&P 500. We know for a fact that the Bitcoin price action is incredibly correlated to US equities, and these equity indexes like the S&P are a pretty good starting point. Now, this blue line here is, again, US CPI on a year-on-year basis. Now, what we can see is as CPI is generally increasing, we usually see stocks struggling. As it is decreasing, we usually see the opposite. We usually see stocks in more favorable macroeconomic conditions. But why is this? Why is inflation decreasing actually good for more speculative and risk-on assets? Well, if I add this on here, which is the global M2 data supply on a year-on-year basis and zoom in, what we can see is they're quite inversely correlated. If I just hide the S&P here so it's a little easier to see, what we can see is as US CPI is declining, global M2 is increasing. As US CPI is increasing, global M2 on a year-on-year basis is declining. And we're very much aware of the influence global M2 has on Bitcoin. If I just add this on and go to the daily time frame here, again, it's a very clear and obvious correlation, especially with Bitcoin. Once we add this 70-day, 10-week offset, we can see that this global M2 is very much leading Bitcoin with a little bit of a lag. But we can see this is actually continuing to decline slightly. It's recently started to show some renewed momentum. Maybe we've set the low. Maybe we're going to start trending higher. We can see on a year-on-year basis, again, it's pretty much where we bottomed out in the most recent move a few months ago. So is this the new catalyst? Well, there's a few things to consider. First and foremost, CPI printing slightly below expectations on its own isn't going to kickstart a new bull market. But the fact that we can see on a Truflation reading that inflation is probably a lot lower than what many US kind of economic indicators are pointing towards. Again, it just gives us some idea that maybe a lot of these indications are lagging. And that might be because they're very heavily weighted to something like US oil, which we can see recently has unfortunately had a spike to the upside, but generally over the past few months has actually been declining. Again, it maybe takes a little minute before we actually see the influence of energy prices really hitting. But that recent spike in oil was unfortunately due to the fact that the conflict in the Middle East seems to be escalating once again. It's peaceful, it's getting worse, it's getting better, but we can see, looking on Polymarket again, only just a couple weeks ago, the chance of the Strait of Hormuz traffic returning to normal by the end of this month, July, had exceeded 60%. Right now, it's gone back down to 1%. So I do think this is, again, probably one of the key things that we need to be watching. But along with that is also the US dollar strength index, which recently actually got rejected from this upper resistance zone and is currently just fighting with this 100-week moving average. Now, what we can see, again, is the US dollar index is very inversely correlated to the Bitcoin price action. Once this is rallying massively to the upside, Bitcoin typically struggles. So if I just go back to the BTC chart here, what we can see is if I add on this one, this is the US dollar DXY on a year-on-year basis. But what I've done is I've inverted the price action. So when this moves to the upside, it actually indicates that the US dollar index is declining. And again, what we can see, a very strong correlation between Bitcoin moving up and US dollar index falling. But again, what I'll do is I'll hide the Bitcoin price action, because if I add on back the global M2 liquidity, the correlation between an inverted US dollar index on a year-on-year basis and global M2 is massive. They are so incredibly correlated that clearly they are moving in tandem. But like we saw with global M2, on a year-on-year basis, the US dollar strength index looks to potentially, big asterisk next to potentially, bottomed out and starting to trend higher. Well, higher on an inverted basis. So what does this mean for Bitcoin? We've talked a lot of numbers here. We've talked a lot of data, but how can we actually use this? Well, if we are on the verge of seeing inflation continue to decline as per the Truflation data points, and that's going to lead to the US dollar index continuing to decline from this resistance point, potentially beneath the 100-week moving average, and start moving down, what does that actually mean? Well, what we can see is Bitcoin actually usually leads these data points. If I just look to when Bitcoin's price action actually bottomed out in the previous Bitcoin bear market, we can see 21st November 2022, it was about 55 days until global M2 bottomed out and started rallying to the upside. But Bitcoin had already moved off the lows. Before this really started trending higher, Bitcoin was up 30, 40+% potentially before we really saw any moves in global M2 on a year-on-year basis. Where are we today? Because if this has potentially bottomed out, I know things can change. The escalation, the conflict can escalate. There could be a black swan catalyst. World War III kicking off could really be, the nail in the coffin. If equity indexes start turning over, of course, it's not going to look good for the volatile, small, speculative asset in everyone's portfolio. But if we look at the low on Bitcoin, we can see that that's currently pointing towards 76 days, so not a million miles away. If Bitcoin has bottomed out and is leading, then it's not looking very dissimilar at all to what we saw in the previous bear market. What I also like to look towards is the previous Bitcoin bear market, this big collapse to lower lows. Everyone points towards, yes, that was the ultimate bottom. And of course, that was the bottom. But that was very, very heavily influenced by the FTX collapse at this point in time. If we instead kind of look towards, I don't want to say ignoring this, but I do think without that FTX collapse, the previous bear market would have looked a little bit more similar to kind of this price action. Now, we covered it in the previous video, but if we measure the amount of time from this initial price-based capitulation to the time-based capitulation, it was 156 days. And if we overlay that onto the current Bitcoin price action, again, that's pretty much right smack bang on where we are. Now, again, excluding that FTX collapse and overlaying that onto the previous price action that we saw somewhere around there, it points towards potentially sometime in August really kicking off the next Bitcoin bull market. Is this going to be the case? Potentially. Potentially not. But again, looking at the similarities that we saw in terms of when Bitcoin was leading global M2, before it started rallying, before the US dollar index on an inverted basis started climbing once again. we're not a million miles away. We're not a million miles away. I just do think the one thing that is really going to make an impact is what's happening in the Middle East. Bitcoin was a lot more fun back in the day when you could just look at Bitcoin data and see what's happening. Now we all have to be armchair economists and Middle East conflict analysts to really understand what is going on. But I do think checking for escalations here, I think a peaceful resolution, any type of peaceful conflict, and we can see things change very, very quickly. In a matter of potentially hours, things can change very, very rapidly. I do think any type of resolution here is going to kickstart more positive and sustained Bitcoin price action. I think that would be the catalyst. But likewise, I'm not ignoring the fact that this could be the FTX event. If we do see a massive escalation, then maybe we do see something like we saw in 2022, where we do have one final flush lower, potentially towards that realized price, long-term holder realized price, cumulative value days destroyed at around $50,000. That could happen. That's not out of the question. All I'm saying is that's kind of banking on escalations. I much prefer putting my eggs in the basket of more peaceful resolutions. I also much prefer putting my eggs in the basket of longing and being bullish on an asset that has gone from fractions of a penny to well over $100,000. And again, this is just looking from a more fundamental perspective. The technicals are still looking favorable. The elapsed time from initial price-based to time-based capitulation are looking favorable. Macroeconomic conditions are slowly potentially turning over and becoming more favorable. We're looking for confluence. We're not relying on one data point. The only thing that is looking potentially worrying is the fact that England are likely on the verge of winning the World Cup. I don't hate to say it, I love to say it, but I hate to say that the last time this happened, nearly 60 years ago, it did mark the beginning of over 16 years of zero gains for US equities as measured by the Dow Jones. So I think the biggest risk to Bitcoin is chop and consolidation until 2042 following England winning the World Cup. This was part of an article that goes out to site subscribers. God, we released some unbelievable content there. In fact, here's a sneak peek of the article coming out today, looking at the fact that England's probability of winning the World Cup is actually falling out of this falling wedge pattern and has an upside target of 100%, indicating that football is coming home. And you might have noticed recently, I've been sitting down. You can't really see the chair, the green screen is taking it, but I have broken my ankle in 2 different places. I don't want to say it was football related. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't. But to add on to the amazing site subscriber analysis pieces we always put out, we are offering 40% off at the minute. Again, I'm going to need to sign out. I did this last time. 40% off. We're even calling it the new bull market sale. Is that a little bit preemptive? Potentially. But 40% off. Lock in one of the cheapest deals you'll see for a limited time only. Only 5 more days of this. And this is genuinely a fraction of the price of competitors in the space, other comparable on-chain macroeconomic data platforms, TradingView indicators, real-time alerts, macroeconomic data. As we can clearly see, industry-leading reports with some unbelievable journalism and insights that you're just not going to find anywhere else. This video is coming out a day early because England are about to beat Argentina in a few hours' time. Wanted to make sure I got this out, just in case my left ankle goes tonight, although I think that'd be a worthy sacrifice for England to make the World Cup final. As always, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.